every game. Avery LeBlanc in his third match. You can see 6 strikes on lane 9, 7 on lane 10.
Earl Anthony.
He's bowling against Earl Anthony, and he knows it.
He says I can run about as well against him.
Well, he's bowling against the most determined player in the history of this game, as far as I'm concerned. 58-year-old, or you're young, Earl Anthony from Cornelius, Oregon, just outside of Portland.
Career earnings of right around $1,400,000. Last year he won $35,000, almost $36,000.
Just like that. Just a ho-hum strike for Earl Anthony. You know, we've seen him throw the ball so many times. He really does look rather effortless.
Earl Anthony also wearing a microphone. You see that he averaged almost 234 in this tournament.
And said he wasn't really as sharp as he'd like to be. That's kind of scary.
How many times has that happened to him on television?
You know, Earl Anthony
shot
299, I believe, in Cleveland, Ohio, 15 years ago, maybe?
More than that.
And left the solid 9 on the last shot for
300 and a car.
Yeah, it was worth quite a bit. Well, that's all they can do is get up and just make that spare. What a terrible break, as we have people on the left standing up in the middle of Earl's shot, but it didn't seem to bother him too much.
Avery LeBlanc now with a bad break for Earl, but a good break for him.
Right, and you can see Avery's best 1996 finishes. He was fourth twice. He wants to be first today.
Has to hurry.
Oh!
And where Earl Anthony got the bad break in the second frame, Avery LeBlanc gets a great break, and he tells you about it. Watch this pin action, Mike. This ball comes way from the right. It's going to knock the headpin to the sideboard. And the headpin doesn't come back, but the 6-pin comes out and love taps it.
That's the old Billy Whaley, the gentle touch. The tender touch, I think he used to say.
Touch.
Working on 2 in a row. 10-pin quick lead here. Wants to bump it up to 20 with another strike.
Well, nothing but good things for Avery LeBlanc so far in this game. Wants to keep the momentum going.
Carry, baby, carry, baby.
I don't even think we're necessary, Mike.
No, the folks at home just listen to Avery. He'll tell you.
Yeah, baby.
20 pins.
Earl taking a deep breath. Needs to just go ahead and do what he did the first 2 shots. Throw them right in the 1-2 pocket. As you can see, he defeated Avery LeBlanc twice. Needs to do it a 3rd time.
Well, he's certainly lined in.
Here's the classic form of Earl Anthony. As you can see, very steady, short arm swing. A little bit of that bent elbow, and very solid at the foul line. And just places the ball in the 1-2 pocket high flush.
Boy, he needs to do it one more time.
Well, he needs to cut into Avery LeBlanc's lead right now. He's down by 20, can cut it to 10. Avery's not watching. I'm sure Avery expects him to strike.
Thank you very much.
And you know, there was only one thing that could happen to that shot, and that would have been another solid 9 if it didn't strike.
Fans shouting in the background.
Saying, easy game, Earl. Yeah, easy to throw the ball perfect and leave a solid 9. As you can see, Avery LeBlanc's low game was only 183. His high game, 279 this week.
Trying for 4.
And gets it. And gets it.
See that little snout there? It's like his nostrils are snarling. he's fighting. He's like a gladiator in there. He looks like he's ready to take on Kirk Douglas in Spartacus.
No, he's taking on Earl Anthony, and Earl Anthony's no one to toy with. If I'm Avery Leblanc, I want to just keep on striking, because you don't want to give Earl Anthony any room.
He's perfect through 5 frames.
And that ball looked like it was coming in a little bit high, but it held pocket. Now leading by 30 pins. We'll take a look at this last shot. Watch the ball go out to about the 5 board. It looks high right here, Mike. But it held.
Could have left a solid 9 on a hit like that.
And you see the reaction.
Time for 3. He gets it. I asked Earl Anthony, the analyst, to critique Earl Anthony, the bowler.
Earl Anthony, the bowler, is what they consider a stroker, I would assume. Has trouble in this event with timing. I've got a bad cold, and I think that's part of the problem, so my timing hasn't been real good. But I expect to be very aggressive on the show.
And he certainly has been, Mike. He's thrown every ball perfect. Flush in the pocket. Now he's 20 pins down, trying to cut it to 10. Well, not a good break.
Stubbins hunting.
Can't do it, ball didn't finish.
Ball didn't quite finish into the pocket like he said. Didn't make the turn from left to right. Leaves the light 10 pin. And there's Special Olympic bowler Michael Lucadano. He averages 146, and he rolled games of 173, 240, and 148 to win that medal this week.
Spades.
Spare conversion for Earl Anthony, but he falls further behind Avery Leblanc. Avery working on 5 in a row, trying for 6.
And not thinking about 300. He's thinking about 10 more pin lead on Earl Anthony.
Avery got 6.
We talked to Avery. This is what he said about his emotions.
Well, if I get into the game and start running shots out, usually it helps me in many senses of ways. I use that to pump myself up, where other people sometimes it gets them out of that rhythm. The crazier I get, the more into it I get, the better it makes me play.
We ran that before, but we thought it was being demonstrated. We wanted to run it again. That's why.
And Earl Anthony sticks his hand out to give Avery Leblanc 5. Avery's got 7 in a row. He now leads by 41 pins. Earl very much aware of what the situation is. Avery Leblanc averaging 229 in this pair. He's going to raise that average this game. Earl needs to get some strikes going once again.
A little bounce there. Finally gets a good break. It's 6-6.
That's the first good break that Earl's had this game.
41 down, 8th frame. Boy, just every strike now is a
Well, right
bust.
now, Avery Leblanc is working at a 250 pace, and Earl Anthony can strike out for 259. So Earl has to strike here, and he's going to need a little help from Avery.
Of course, all these bowlers are mathematicians, so they all keep score like that in their head. They got built-in calculators there. Oh, he switches them out.
Double.
Well, Mike, you think, is Avery thinking about the 10,000 for the perfect 300 game?
I don't think so at all.
Not yet.
I don't think so at all. Not until he gets to the 10th
I
frame
think
and hasn't locked up.
I think if he strikes in the 8th and 9th and locks the matchup, then he can start thinking about that. But there's plenty of work left to be done.
And of course, this is the place in the game where Dickinson put the pressure on him and he split.
That's wide. Well, a little prophetic for Mike Durbin. You said that this was the point where Dickinson put the
Durbin may
pressure on
have
him and he
called
split.
it.
That ball, it
That's
looked as if
stop.
Avery elbowed that ball, didn't get the good leverage, and the ball hung on him.
Also leaves
2,
the door
4, 10. A
open.
makeable split.
Very
Oh,
makeable
Anthony.
split, but very difficult. And Earl Anthony right now is probably feeling a little better about his opportunity to win this tournament.
He's got a chance. Just too much.
8 outs.
Open frame in the 8th frame right now. Don't forget, coming up, World Cup skiing is next with the women's slalom that's coming from Vail, Colorado.
Now, Mike, right now, Avery Leblanc can still control his own fate. He can strike out for 263. Earl Anthony can strike out for 259. And the 300 game, that's a thing of the past.
Can he regroup? Yes, he can.
What a wonderful shot. He did the same thing in the last game, Mike. He made a bad shot, left the split, came right back and got a strike. Put it right back at Earl Anthony's corner. Earl cannot shut out Avery Leblanc.
But he can strike out for 259 when he goes out. The difference, 14 pins right now. Earl can cut it to 4 with a strike in the 9th frame.
And it's, as he says one more time, this is a must strike for Earl. What a carry. Yes. What a great shot for Earl Anthony. Just so cool and so calm when he gets up there to throw the ball. Let's take a look at this shot. This ball is right over his target. Rolling up smoothly, high, flush in the pocket.
Right. I've just seen solid 10s on hits like that.
Yeah, and now in the first time in the match, Earl has the opportunity to take the lead. If he strikes here, goes from a 4-pin deficit to a 6-pin lead, and really puts it on Avery. For the lead. And he has it, the 7-pin ball. A little kick with the 4-pin into the 7. Almost a soft 7. And he does have that 6-pin lead. Avery shaking his head.
Bad sign.
Yeah, he still has his fate in his hands. No matter what Earl does, he cannot shut out Avery Leblanc.
Yeah, that's shaking the head. I think he's still thinking about that split.
He very well may be.
To raise it to a 16-pin lead.
I think you'll see a clenched fist if he gets this one, Mike. Oh my God.
I knew he was in trouble when he got down on the knee.
Hey, he took that fist and he slammed it into the approach. Very upset. You know, Earl's done everything he can do. This ball's coming right into the 1-2 pocket. Watch the 4-pin. It'll go around the 7. And here's Earl saying, darn, phooey, something to that order. You can't blame him for being upset. He still has the lead and forces Avery to get up and strike.
As the spare finishes with 248, a solid 9, a tickling 10-pin, and a solid 7. The rest strikes.
Now, you wouldn't expect any less from Earl Anthony. Now, here's the situation. Avery Leblanc, never, ever has he been a champion on the Pba Tour, Senior Pba Tour, with a strike here. He beats Earl Anthony for his first title. What a carry. Oh my God.
Solid 10, a beautiful shot, and the 10-pin doesn't fall. Earl Anthony has prevailed.
Well, Avery did everything he needed to do on that shot. He just did not get the good break. Earl Anthony bowled a great game. A deserved champion, led the tournament from almost the start.
Very good. Great turn.
I think Earl's feeling very, very fortunate right now, Mike. And another second place finish for Avery Leblanc. I believe that's his fourth. He'll get to the winner's circle.